I'm going to start painting the Clerestory today, and once I get the frames all painted up, I'm going to head into town. I got to pick up a few things at the grocery store, and I got to get some clear silicone from the hardware store, and I'll be able to get started installing the panes of glass. I just started painting the frames around the Clerestory. What I do want to show you is how close the color from the ridge flashing is to the wood. So really, I think this is going to be a great solution. So I know this question's going to come up, so I thought I'd address it right now in the video. Why didn't you paint these before you installed them? Well, if I had known that we were going to paint them, I would have. But the original plan was to actually polyurethane them, and a little bit of clear polyurethane, hitting the wood trim around it wouldn't have made a big deal at all. And another point was that the original plan was to install the glass from the outside up against this piece of trim and then use glazing putty to create a beveled edge like you see on a traditional window. But things have changed, so you got to roll with the punches. Had I known then what I know now, I would have painted them. It would have been a lot easier. I've got the first 5 panes painted, and on the inside I took the opportunity to be a little liberal with the paint, and I used it basically as a sealant along the juncture between the 2x6s and the 1x2s. It won't be visible, and I figure if it adds an extra layer of air sealant, all the better. So I'm going to let this dry, and what I'm going to do is I'm now going to paint 5 of the 8-foot 1x2s that I picked up the other day, and then once those are dry, I can start installing glass. I think this is going to be a great color choice. If you look at these 2 windows, the right one here is unpainted. The one on the left, let me zoom in, is painted. That's a pretty darn close color to a natural wood. And like I said, it's going to tie in with that ridge flashing right there. So I'm just finishing up the second coat on this interior trim. And once I finish this, I'm going to grab Chloe and we're going to run into town for a few minutes. I got to get to the grocery store. I need some milk. And I got to pick up some clear silicone. And I'm going to use the clear silicone when I install these window panes. What I'll do is I'll put a bead around the inside of the first frame that you saw me paint. And then I'll install the pane of glass. I'll hold it in place with some points, window points. And that silicone will act as a glue and also another wind barrier, another air gap barrier. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to clean this brush and get to town. Just got back from the store. Most eclectic shopping cart ever. The 1x2s here are dry. They have a nice little semi-gloss sheen to them. 2 coats of paint were applied. Looking good. I'm going to try to get my first pane of glass installed in the Clerestory. Before I apply any silicone, I want to take that piece of glass and do a dry fit first, just to make sure that everything is going to go the way it's planned. Perfect. So now I can just remove that pane of glass, put a bead of silicone around the perimeter, and put the pane of glass back up. That silicone will act like a second set of hands holding the glass in place. If you look at my t-shirt, you can see the wind is really blowing, and it wants to actually blow the glass back down. Watch carefully, you'll see the wind blow the glass back in. So here I start fumbling a little bit. The wind is really blowing against the pane of glass, and I'm kind of fumbling to get the points installed to hold this pane of glass in place. For those of you who aren't familiar with window points, they're small wedges of metal that you can force into the wood frame around the pane of glass to hold it in place until glazing putty can be installed, or in our case, wood trim. Here I'm attempting to install the window points for the first time. Now, the 2x6 framing was so hard and dense that I just couldn't push that point in. And I did not want to get a hammer up there and start hammering points in. So I decided to abandon the points and just rely on the silicone to act as a temporary glue to hold the panes of glass in place until I can get the inside trim installed. Those points won't push into the 2x6s. 2x6 is too dense. I'm glad I got the silicone. It's holding it nice and sticky. It'll give me a chance to cut the trim. One down, 19 to go. Okay, the first thing I do is I cut the bottom and top pieces and do a dry fit. Once I know that those are going to fit, I'll run a bead of silicone around the perimeter. After I run the bead, I'll get a piece of glass and I'll fit it. After I fit the glass, I just want to push it up against the silicone and make sure that a suction is created, because that's going to be holding it while I install the rest of the trim. Not only that, but this is going to help create an air barrier. Now that I've got the top and bottom pieces of trim installed, I can just measure and do the 2 verticals, and then this window pane is finished. I've got the first 5 windows glazed, and the first 4 panes went real well, and the 5th pane was a pain in the butt, as you can tell by the silicone smudge marks all over the glass. And if you look closely up here on the frame, I had to chisel away some of the 2x6 to make that piece of glass fit. But here's the good news. I got it to fit and the glass didn't break. Woohoo! It's a first for me. Maybe I do have a career as a glazer. Anyways, I'm calling it quits for the day, and I think I'm calling it quits for this video. You guys have any questions? Let me know in the comment box below. And as always, we really appreciate you watching. Have a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video.